Sal Paolantonio sends me in 2016. Road teams are 18-32 on Thursday night. That's a winning percentage of .360. Doug Peterson undefeated on Thursday night football. And really, Sal, one that they absolutely had to have last night. It's time for Sal Pal Friday, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. This season, the pregame starts at Dunkin'. DD Perks members score a $1 medium hot or iced coffee on Eagles game days. Head to Dunkin' for your kickoff. Before kickoff, excludes cold brew, limit one per guest, limited time offer. So get your DD on this Friday with Sal Paolantonio. They needed that one last night, Sal.
Listen, Mike, if you had me on Wednesday, if you had me on a Sal Pal Wednesday on the Mike Gill show, I would have picked the Birds because I did pick them. I was with Brian Westbrook yesterday at Xfinity Live in Philadelphia. We were doing an appearance together. And Brian Westbrook, former Eagles running back, picked the Packers 28-10, and I picked the Eagles to win 28-20. And I'll tell you what, it was quite interesting, the reaction at Xfinity Live after that happened. But I thought that I said if the Eagles did not turn the ball over, they would win the game. If that team does not turn the ball over, that offense is very hard to stop.
What impressed you the most about, what did Doug just get back to basics last night? Like, when you watch the game plan, what are you thinking about what they only had a couple days to prepare for this? Was that a benefit to them?
I think it was a benefit to them. I think it was important for them to turn the page, get out of town, because there was a lot of negativity in town. We all heard it. You heard it. I heard it. A lot of negativity. They needed to get out of town. They left early Wednesday morning, and they were able to turn the page quite quickly. Doug coached his rear end off, without a doubt, to put it simply. And the bottom line is they did two things that you have to do in a football game to win most of the time. They ran the ball, and they stopped the run. They dominated the line of scrimmage. All five starters on the offensive line played 100% of the offensive snaps. All five, including the old man, Jason Peters. All five at 100%. So when you look at what let's look at what they've done defensively in their four games. To the starting running backs, Darius Jice, 10 carries, 18 yards, 1.8 a carry. Devontae Freeman, Atlanta Falcons, 11 for 22, 2 yards a carry, slightly better. Kerryon Johnson, 20 carries for 36 yards, back down to 1.8. Last night, Aaron Jones, 13 carries for 21 yards, 1.6, an average of 1.8 yards. If the Eagles obviously don't drop the ball and don't fumble, they beat the Lions, and this team is 3-1.
A lot different feeling today, 3-1 obviously, but 2-2 feels way better than 1-3. And I got to ask you, Sal, big time. And I got to ask you about, they ran the ball a lot last night. Is that just a one-game thing, or we've seen this from Doug before. Do you think he saw something last night that says, you know what, my team is different? I have a team that can run the ball with this offensive line.
Well, Jordan Howard, didn't come out of a run-pass option or zone read running system. He's a north-south runner, and he needed to get really acclimated to what they were doing. And last night they changed some things a little bit and allowed him to get the ball in his hands in a situation where he could just turn and go. This is a tough runner. Jordan Howard will make you pay if you try to bring him down. He is a between-the-tackles tough runner. And I think that Doug just decided, I'm going to go back to basics, and I'm going to pound the rock, and I'm going to stop the run. And that's what they did. Aaron Rodgers came into that game converting only 25% on third down.
Yep.
And they wanted to put the ball in his – boy, he looks lost, Aaron Rodgers, in that RPO offense of Matt LaFleur's, doesn't he?
And unhappy. He looks lost and unhappy.
Yes, lost and unhappy. When you're running the RPO, you got to read the linebacker after you snap the football. And you're responsible for the safety. And if they don't get somebody beyond the line of scrimmage who occupies the attention and space of the safety, I'm talking about the safety near the box, not the free safety, then that safety is free and clear to do what he wants to do. And we saw it down by the goal line. How about this, right? Back-to-back nationally televised games, Sunday night and Thursday night, where a new head coach / signal caller doesn't run the football at the goal line and loses the game.
Yeah.
Kitchens, and
Yeah, so Sal, I wanted to ask you about Nelson Aguilar. He didn't have any catches. I think they had targeted him once on the opening drive, and then after that, nothing. And I'm wondering, he played 90% of the snaps. Do you think that there was some intent there on Carson's part to, it's a big game, they have to win, they needed reliable players to maybe look at him a little bit less and go to guys like Jeffrey and Ertz who are a little bit more reliable with their hands?
Jeff, I don't know if that's the case or not, but the numbers certainly bear out that theory, don't they? I mean, clearly they do. Now, they didn't have a lot of passing plays, so the volume was down. He only completed 16 of 27 attempts.
Yeah.
And you know that in most cases, Ertz is going to get half the targets. And Jeffrey was on the field. Jeffrey had 9 targets. Ertz had 8. So it's clear they wanted to get Howard more involved in the passing game. So he occupied 4. He did not look Aguilar's way at all. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch the film from the All-22 and see how much Aguilar was open to make a final determination about whether or not he just ignored him when he was open or he wasn't open that much. But, Jeff, I think your theory is a good one based strictly on the numbers, for sure.
Well, Sal, we now have 10 days to kind of stew on what's next. We saw a lot of injuries. That secondary.
Not stew. There's a difference between stew and marinate, right? Obviously, it's like a nice
yeah, it's gonna simmer.
Sauce. You let it marinate for 10 days, and then next Sunday you bring it out of the pot. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, Mike Gill.
Well, they got a lot of questions in that secondary now over the next 10 days.
Yeah, I know.
So do we get we're going to hear all that, right? Are they going to get anybody in that secondary? They're going to keep with what they got. But you think Howie watched that game last night and had a shift in thought?
Well, you're talking about Jalen Ramsey. And, now I don't see how you pry him loose from the Jaguars without paying a major, major price for the guy, right?
Yeah.
Especially the Jaguars pick up the phone. All right, I'm Tom Coughlin, and you're Howie Roseman. And I'm like, okay, how you doing, Howie? I see you're down to 1/2 of one qualified cornerback. The price just went up to 2 ones and a 2 and a player. And then Howie goes, click. There's no way you're paying that much money for Jalen Ramsey and then turning around and have to pay him as a free agent corner. That's the thing is, like, he's not under contract, right, Mike and Jeff? So not only you have to pay the Jaguars, but you got to pay him. I don't know how you do it. I just don't.
All right.
Is there a possibility you can find door number 2 or 3? Like Miami's giving away players left and right. They have a decent corner in Xavier Howard. If the Broncos go to 0-4, Chris Harris might still be better than anything that the Eagles have now. Do you think that there's another stone left to turn?
I'm sure there is. And those are good names for sure, Jeff. And I like Chris Harris a lot. He's a winner. He's tough. He's a great tackler. He's a leader. He's got experience. He doesn't need an instruction manual. You can put him right on the field. I like that a lot. Are you guys telling me you're like on the beach? Can I hear the wind now? That sounds pretty good out there. Is that what's going on out there right now?
We are sitting poolside across the street from the beach.
We didn't want to rub it in, but you asked, Sal.
Every Friday, we're at the pool. The beach is across the street. The bar is an arm's length to my right. Yeah. But by the way, real quick, speaking of the beach.
I'm on I-95. I pulled over to the rest stop because I'm on my way down to the Baltimore Ravens Cleveland Browns game. So
I'll be in Baltimore tomorrow. I'll be in Baltimore tomorrow there, Sal Pal.
All right.
I will. I'm driving down to Baltimore tomorrow for the day and then coming back on Sunday. But real quick, the Centennial Blue Ribbon panel was selected, and I believe the Hall of Fame Centennial panel was selected, and you have been put hand-picked to be on that panel. Tell our listeners about that.
Well, it's quite an honor, obviously, right? Because it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame Centennial class. I'm going to be part of a group of 25 men and women who have been selected by David Baker of the Hall of Fame and Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner.
Nice.
Bill Belichick's on the panel. Ernie Accorsi's on the panel. Some of my brethren in the media are on the panel. And so it's Ron Wolf is on the panel. This Ozzie Newsome. So it's a pretty select group, and I'm totally proud to be part of it. And I just actually sent a note to one of my esteemed panelists to support Harold Carmichael, because Harold, I'm going to send you the information, Mike Gill. We got to start creating a buzz. Harold Carmichael should be one of the 10 senior members of the Hall of Fame Centennial class.
Well, we appreciate the information. I will certainly help with the efforts on that, but that is a great honor, and I'm looking forward to this year's Centennial class. That's going to be awesome. And, of course, a Sal Pal Friday is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Pregame starts at Dunkin'. The DD Perk members score a $1 medium hot or iced coffee on Eagle game days. Next Sunday against the Jets is the next Eagle game day, and you can hear that game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Browns and Ravens Sunday. Sal Pal will be there. And, hey, I'll be in Baltimore, man. I'll look you up. I'll look you up tomorrow.
All right, and don't forget now, the NFL matchup show is now on the ESPN app and on demand, so you can watch it anytime.
Good stuff, as always, on the matchup show. And by the way, also, they brought back Berman and TJ for the highlight show. I was excellent last week watching that. It was a lot of fun to see those two guys together. Sal, always appreciate it, pal.
Okay, you guys have a great weekend.